Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and I'm here with Ryan McCoy. Hey, Ryan.
Hello, Jeff. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Do you want to share why? No, I'm gonna introduce you properly. I was about to let you introduce yourself.
Okay.
But this is the first we're meeting.
Yes.
Normally, people on this podcast have been at Sherman Film Festival or Film Invasion Los Angeles, but your film, The Party, which is being released, right?
Yes, January 2nd.
January 2nd. So The Party's being released, and you sent me an email explaining and saying that you were interested in being on the podcast, and you had submitted that film, and I liked it, and I gave it a rating commensurate with that, but this is for everyone who's ever been pissed off that you didn't get into the Sherman Oaks Film Festival or Film Invasion LA. When you get that email that says, films we like didn't get into the festival, it's fucking true. I swear to God. So when Ryan sent an email and I looked it up and I'm like, because I've always said to my wife, who I watch a lot of submissions with, you know, I often see films. I'm like, I would like to know more about that. Maybe I should invite them on the podcast. And I feel like I can't invite people on the podcast who didn't get accepted to the festivals because, you know, it's a thing. You never know. You know, I could like make you laugh and tell you some of the nasty emails we get after the official selections are announced. It's always kind of funny. It's like, I understand being pissed off if like we actually did you wrong.
Yeah. If we sent you an email saying you're accepted, and then 5 minutes later, like, just kidding, you're not accepted.
Changing your mind, or you know, whatever, or if our submission fee was like, I've seen festivals like a submission fee of like $250, and like,
well, we'll accept your film, but you have to pay double, you know, things like that.
Yeah, actually, if I was a better capitalist, there would be an automatic entry, $500.
Sure, yeah.
You could submit a 1-hour video of your grandmother taking a shit.
Yeah,
it'll be in the festival.
But I think, like I said before, I think, speaking for myself, if I were, you know, in that situation and get the, you know, I would be happy with that for sure. You know.
Well, much appreciated.
Yeah. So for future reference, if you find a submission that you like and doesn't get in the thing, I say send that email.
Send the email saying, look, I liked it, but I'm not in complete control. We got a whole jury.
You might get another headband out of it.
And
you never know.
Oh, nice. I did. I got some cool merch. And your hat's cool too. I see that's part of the Rhino.
That's the logo. Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff.
You got good logos.
Yeah.
This is a silly. I'm not going to bring up my silly shit. So go ahead. Do you want to talk a little bit about The Party first?
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about your history?
Yeah, since that's what's...
talk about it, because January 2nd, as you said.
Yeah, so January 2nd on VOD, and then probably like 5 or 6 weeks after that, it'll go to whatever streaming platform that, you know, I don't know which one, to be honest, yet. But January 2nd, it'll be available on Google and Apple and YouTube.
Right,
and all those
and
to pay to
probably
rent.
Prime Video direct. Everyone who... I don't know what, or $4.99, $6.99, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Where
I wouldn't pay any more than that. Don't pay more than $6.99 for the movie.
You know, I do urge people, if you're listening to this, and you know, like $7, $8 for an indie film, like that is where I understand. Like, you know, if Mission Impossible is like a $10, whatever the rental is for that, wait till that's free.
Yeah.
But an indie film on VOD, why not help that person out? Why not support the indie arts?
Let me pitch, I guess, why somebody should watch. Because I do love the film. I do think the film has things. There are things I would, in retrospect, I would change, but I left it into the full capable hands of Kevin Stevenson, the director, and he also edited it and shot it. He was DP as well. I think there's fantastic things in it. I think the movie is, if you are a parent of teenagers or are a teenager yourself, I think you will. There's something for you in the movie for sure. There's a ensemble cast. And they're, high school changes throughout the years in terms of technology or culture or whatever, but the emotional kind of archetypes and how, you know, how the society of high school play out have, at least in Western, you know, culture, have kind of maintained that same, or they have, you know, piece of it. So there's I think there's a character, there's at least one character in there that anybody can identify with, you know. I think it's beautifully shot, CinemaScope, like, you know, wide angle, a few different just oneers, you know what I mean? Just long takes and letting the actors, it's brilliantly acted by every cast member. And they're young, you know, kind of newcomers to the game. We shot this, it'll be 5 years ago, in December 2020 is when we filmed it. So they're older now and doing their thing. But I mean, we had at least one cast member was 19, you know what I mean? So she's just out of high school. Most of the other ones were, you know, between 20 and 24, 25. So high school wasn't too far off from them. And yeah, everybody just really, you know, crushed it, I think. So, yeah, there's some pacing issues, I'll say, with across maybe the middle. I think
I'm going to interrupt you just to say that you are an excellent company pointing out little things like that. But you don't need to. I mean, the Coen brothers and Spielberg, like, they go back, they're like, you know, it's not perfect. There's little things I should change.
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't have to be humble. Like,
well, I'm trying to pit, like, you know, somebody. I'm imagining somebody like, why would I watch this movie with nobody I've heard of or nobody I recognize, you know, and stuff like that. And then I think the first 20, 30, you know, so get through that, just stick with it, you know what I mean? And then about the 58, 59 minute mark, it starts to ramp up again and stuff. But again, it's brilliantly shot and acted. It's based off of a young adult novel called Party. It was written by Tom Levine, who is, I can't say any nicer or greater things about him and his work that he does and his various books that he's written. Yeah, it's you should check it out for those reasons. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'll say, like, I'm going to make some assumptions because it's been a while, but there's nothing. I really love a high school-based film. I think high school is one of the most important periods of our lives. I mean, talk about coming of age. But it's also the era of life that I think Hollywood tends to be the most full of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, because we know who's running studios, and we know the decisions they're making, and that's why, you know, like, maybe John Hughes did it right. I don't know if anyone, you know, actually, I think I really liked Booksmart, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
but like, I feel like high school movies are done wrong by the studios most of the time. And I mean, I say that as the dad of a college freshman who just finished high school earlier this year. And, like, you know, there were not many high school films that we enjoyed watching together, you know? So, like, you need indies to come in and do high school with integrity and authenticity.
Yeah. Well, somebody might be wondering, you know, if you shot it 5 years ago, why, you know, how did it take this long to get distribution?
They should know that's normal, but
yeah, right. Duh. Well, one of the reasons, and actually, so we signed with a sales rep, like, I don't know, 22 or something like that, 23, and then
right, like after your festival run.
Yeah. And then it took a long time to get you know, it went long enough where we were starting to get no's from, you know, we're looking for domestic distribution, and like, no, stop sending it to us, we don't want to, you know, we pass. And so our sales rep at one point sent me an email saying that one of the reasons that people were passing on it was because the themes are red flags for them, and showing, and see if I can remember the exact quote, is like depictions of youth engaged in drug use, sexual activity, or like violence or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, so you don't want a real, like, you don't really want to see what's going on in this, in American high schools. Okay. But that was one reason I was given, that it had too many red flags because of those things.
So they were afraid, even though it's been proven wrong a million times.
Yeah, has anybody gone through high school? Like, didn't we all? Like it.
Had these people heard of a show called Euphoria?
Which
everybody watched?
Right. Well, that also has a very recognizable lead actor in it.
But to call red flags, so if you have an A-list actor, it's a green flag, and if you don't, it's a red flag.
Well, and that's what I came to the conclusion of. Yeah, and I don't have an answer. I'm just you know what I mean. This is just I'd like to get for my audience, if my audience ever hears this, but I'm all about transparency and opening the curtain and showing that while movies are magic, they do magical things. It's really just a series of accomplishments, and a focused attention to it, and just the work that's put into telling the story, and it's not very fancy or glamourful. I just think but to get it right, it requires, like, it's formulaic almost. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and it takes effort at every level. Like, it's not. Yeah. Sharing cinema, sharing storytelling is the magical part, right? Mm-hmm. Watching it with people and discussing it, and feeling something. But the process of making a film, right? The script's got to be good. Then something else has got to be.
Well, and I even
everything has to
the
go
script
perfectly.
Is like,
script is there. Yeah. If that's not
put
good,
your laptop away, get a stack of note cards and a pencil and a white wall and some tape, and we'll start there. You know what I mean? And then after about a month or two, then we can start actually typing stuff out.
Yeah.
But
but there's nothing glamorous about filmmaking. It's the people, the storytellers. It's like building a house that you get to live in for 5 minutes.
Yeah, or like building a company. You know what I mean? And then
Actually,
departing.
I've said it before. Every film is like a business startup.
Yeah.
But you have, even if it comes out exactly what you wanted, all the effort into starting out, like you start up another business and then you get to let it ride for 20, 30, hopefully 40 years.
Yeah.
You make a film. All right, now you got to start another one. Like it's literally like, it's built to burn, which takes a special kind of person, I think,
it's funny you say
be
that,
part of it.
I was just thinking in my head just now. I was like, man, I fucking love it. I'm
you
built for it. You know what I mean? Like,
I
love the process of it, and that's, I don't think that's common. You know what I mean? That I don't think everybody has that. Like, that might sound really like laborious to some people, and like, why would you want to do that? And to me, like, as you were describing it, I'm like, I love it.
You want to start it up again.
Something about, like, building something and tearing it down, or you know what I mean, letting it go. Like, yeah.
Which is I was going to say, but is that a good transition to get into your story, personal story? Because you just said, like, you are the kind of person. I was going to share, because I think you'll appreciate it, that I don't know when I finally came up with this. It was a long time ago. The idea that, like, if only being a filmmaker was like, could max out at like a nice middle class existence, then all films would be great.
Yeah.
Because so many people make them for the wrong reasons. Like, you're doing it for the right. If you can go through that slog and just love the process, then you should be making films.
Yeah.
But the people, I've met people who literally moved to LA and they tell me they want to, this is when I was young, and they'd be like, I want to be a filmmaker. And I'd be like, oh, what kind of film do you want to make? I don't know, just a really big one. Mm-hmm. I just want an office on a studio lot. Mm. And you look at them and you're like, you don't even have a story to tell? Mm-hmm. And you want to be a storyteller? Like, they're just chasing the dream of being important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Instead of chasing the dream of telling stories, because that's what human existence is sharing stories with each other. So,
well, I agree with you, and I mean, used to kind of be like that. I mean, like when I first, you know what I mean? Like if I'm being honest, like the first things that kind of, you know what I mean? Like I didn't become, I don't think I think I'm a really good, if not great, storyteller. And, you know, if I'm given my time and my, you know, and everything, I think I'm really good at it. I was not that when, you know, 15 years ago when I first, you know, came to the city or did Evidence, and Evidence
right.
really.
Evidence was 2012.
That was released in 20. Yeah, we shot it in like 2010. So
Gotcha, yeah.
And that thing like completely blew up, and like was got the attention of several different studios, and was getting, you know, I was taking really big meetings and everything. I thought I thought, oh, here I am, but I didn't have anything in my canon to back it up with, you know.
Gotcha.
And so that faded pretty quickly. But now like to go back, like now I know why I'm doing this.
Right. So you grew into it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some incredible life experiences in the last I mean, starting 2017 specifically, and then again at the end of 21. I mean, completely life-altering experiences.
Well, you want to start with where you grew up?
Everett, Washington, proudly.
Oh, nice. Is that kind of rural Washington?
It's like 20 minutes north of, 20 miles north of Seattle. It's where Boeing is. They build all the planes
so,
there.
So solid suburb, exurb kind of
Yeah, about 100,000. It's got a Navy base. And,
beautiful place.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it you know, it has any sort of problems that any urban area, you know, might have and stuff like that. And there's been a problem not just in Everett, Seattle, even down to Portland. I'm not from Portland, you know, I can't speak. I haven't laid eyes on the ground, whatever, but Granite Falls, I know, but like real big, like drug, you know, like fentanyl and things like that. I've had buddies, Narcan people on the sidewalk that just fell out of a van and ODing right there on the street.
Wow.
You know what I mean? At 2 a.m. or something.
I mean, this
was like a year ago.
This is America, though, right? Yeah. I mean, it is a nationwide.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's pretty much any urban, you know, populated area, but
and rural too. Yeah. I mean, it's isn't that how they found out OxyContin was being abused? Is that towns with like 1,200 people had 25,000 prescriptions for Oxy, and it was like, oh, there's some dishonest doctors here.
Yeah. Imagine that. Wow.
Imagine that.
Speaking of doing things for the right or wrong reasons,
oh my
you know?
God. Yeah. If they use their drug profits to fund indies. No. So anyway.
Then I'm okay.
All right. So you're growing up there as a creative kid?
Let's see. So I grew up under the shadow of my older brother. He's 5 years older than me, and was very successful in sports, and then after school business, and so he had always been the thing I was chasing, and I just kind of followed the same path, not really knowing or having an opinion or an idea of I just seeing like, oh, that's I guess this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I play football now, and now I do this, and now I do that, you know. But I mean, I first got a camcorder in my hands around age 10, and I don't know why our family got one, because we weren't very like we didn't go on family vacations or, you know, things like that. And my parents were divorced already by that time or close to it. But we got a camcorder, and I just remember I can picture it. I'm being on the floor, and I was playing with it, and I was like, oh wow, this is great. And so I just started like with Lego, doing stop motion, and then would just film story. We'd do like Sherlock Holmes cases with my buddies, and we'd all dress up in different costumes. And then in like 7th and 8th grade, I started writing stories, and then I would shoot those stories with my friends on the weekend. And then freshman year of high school, I took video production my second semester, and I made a 20-minute short film for class, and my teacher, Kevin Corbett, afterwards came up to me. He's like, "Rhino, you belong in Hollywood, man. You need to go to LA." And so I was like, here's an adult telling me this is what I should be doing. So I kind of just wrote off, I maintained that, well, that's what I'm going to do. That's all I want to do. And then I went through, an abyss of probably 2 decades of just real, like a prison of just negative behaviors and just, I was a raging alcoholic, or grew into a raging alcoholic. And,
like right out of high school, or even starting during high school? I
started drinking at 18. With my brother, ironically enough, was the first
5
time.
years, yeah. So he could buy when you were.
He was coming
16,
home from college
yeah.
when I was in junior and senior in high school, and so. Yeah, and then started working in the restaurant industry, and I don't know but that is a heavy, there's a lot of drinking involved in that, but was always moving forward and always had the vision and was always working and functioning, for what it was.
But you were ignoring your film side?
No, I was always trying to pursue that, but I guess I was never really listening to the voice I should have been listening to, which is the one that was deep inside, but that was, clouded with trauma and just suppressing pain, whatever I could do to, numb out of that. And
right. The drinking was self-medication.
Yeah. And then became extraordinarily habitual. And from the moment I woke up, going all day and for years, but still got married, had a son, family, house, and then spring of 2017 had a on paper you would call it a mental breakdown, but for me it was something much, much greater than that. And when I tried to explain what I experienced to people, they just wrote it off as crazy or bipolar or some kind of mental disorder. And I said, okay, I understand that, but like there was, you weren't inside what I heard and what I felt, and but I'll do the steps and I'll, I just started exploring, like, what is this world about? Where do religions come from? Where does, these kind of big kind of themes and questions like that. And then 2 years after that event is when I quit drinking, just cold turkey, on the 2-year anniversary.
So that event, you still drank for 2 more years. So
still,
it wasn't like a rock bottom or anything for you.
Well, it just completely pivoted my life. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I could not get out of my head what I experienced. I couldn't explain it. I couldn't describe it. I wrote a book, put that out, describing every single detail of how I remember. It was one specific night, really. Just in the hopes of just, again, that transparency and just sharing. And I actually received lots of messages, private messages from individuals saying, "Thank you so much for talking. I had an experience just like that. I am having the same questions you are, but I'm 35 and married with 3 kids, and I have a full-time job, and this thing almost destroyed everything, and I'm trying to maintain, so I can't even, my wife doesn't even know I'm sending you this message."
Yeah.
So I knew that talking about it was a good thing. And I'm funny because I just put everything on record, like as it's happening, kind of real time. I go back and I read the book now, and I'm like, oh, you had no idea. You know what I mean? About things.
You're proud of yourself, though, right? For writing it?
Yeah, I'm proud of everything I've done, even though I tend to push things out I tend to push things out without really caring about, like, the quality or, I'm not a perfectionist like that. I'm more just like, I want to get this stuff out. And that's what started my YouTube channel, is I started just to kind of, again, show the transparency, talk about everything that had happened to me. at the time I was very focused on like mental health and mental disorders. I've since I don't really use those terms anymore. I think of everything in a much grander scale. I believe things are happening outside of our physical realm first, and then they materialize in the form. So you kind of work from the inside out. And if you are aligning yourself internally with, your highest good, I guess you could say, then your physical reality is going to change to reflect what you want to feel and see and stuff. So that's the gamut of it. And then so we shot Party at the end of 2020. I thought that was
well, so 2017 is that, and then 2019
sobriety.
And then by the end of 2020, so it's in between that and the end of 2020 when
January
you shot the film.
1st, 2020 is when I launched Rhino Rider Media. And I've been planning a video, it was like a 20-minute documentary, just me talking to the camera, that I was gonna release, that I'd been planning for 8 or 9 months before, and we filmed it in January and had it cut together and ready to release on March 28th. That's the anniversary of that date. It's when I launched my books, my sobriety date, and so I was going to put this video out. And the video is very much like planting my flag in the ground for where I stand in terms of independent film and the industry and what had happened with my previous film, with Evidence, that horror film. And and then COVID happened when that, almost within a week or two of me launching that video, and I just saw green lights, and I said, this is like, it's like I'm in a race. This is what the analogy I use. It's like I'm in a race, and I'm way far behind, and the lead runner just tripped and knocked out the top 15 people. And so I'm going to go as fast as I can to catch up to them, because they're going to stand up and start running again. But I'm going to use this time because I'm smaller, quicker, more agile, less things. I can move faster.
Right, you knew production had been shut down globally.
Exactly, yeah. So I went as hard as I could, and we filmed in Los Angeles during lockdown against, orders of producers guilds, we're outside, so we weren't using SAG or any of these unions, but they were still they're still made aware of it, and we're saying we don't, you can't shoot. And so that's why we filmed a lot of it in Ventura County, actually, because they were open at the time, and we followed all the guidelines that Hollywood had set out at that time and stuff. But I was like, no, man, we're not gonna stop from this. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, I was always, not that it matters, but I really thought that was mishandled by the industry, because you could have bubbles. You were 2 weeks from knowing everything was fine. Just put everyone in a hotel, wait 2 weeks, and then shoot a freaking movie.
Yeah. Well, they're so overinflated in every department.
Yeah.
Monetarily, staffing.
And the legal
size,
department wasn't going to let them do it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So.
But so you already had it in mind, though, because you said it's based on a book, yeah?
The story of how Party came about is really cool and fully documented on my YouTube channel. We're like the very first phone call I ever had with Tom to get the rights is I set up my phone, and I was like, I know this, I'm like, I got to record this moment. And I met Tom through another YouTuber's, much bigger YouTuber's channel, where Tom was like a guest on his show, and he was like giving advice or whatever. And Tom was just similar age to me, and was talking about his career and where he's at, and just kind of, I don't know, something just, I kind of saw something, identified with him, and found his email through there and contacted him right away. And just one thing led, and then I had an investor in mind, I thought, and then I saw a movie of Kevin's before I ever met him. I saw a film that he did on Tubi, and he didn't write it, but he shot and directed it. And I was like, well, this movie looks great. I was like, the script is not, I can tell the story, person's trying to put their personal thing on it, and it's not terrible, but I bet if I craft this story for him, this high school story. I just saw his visuals, and I thought it would make a good pairing, and so made all these pieces together. And then we only had 8 weeks of prep before we shot, and then we filmed for 10 days straight, 1 day break in between, and and that was that. And then at the end of to go back to more the personal story, at the end of 2021, I had another production in August of 2021 that we shot in Florida that did not go very well. And matter of fact, it was a complete disaster. And everything stems from me, so it's all ultimately my fault. But absolutely everything was a disaster, and it was twice as expensive as the party, and just kind of sent me like in a panic of like.
And that was 9 months later-ish?
Yeah.
So
I was trying to go back
still
to
in
back.
post?
Oh yeah, the party was still in post, and I was trying to go back to back.
Another. Wow.
Yeah. I told you. I thought I saw green lights, man, and so that experience, and I came out of Florida. Not only had I spent all this money, and it was all this thing, but I didn't even have a finished film after I got back and put it together. And I was like, just an assemble cut or whatever. And I was like, I got like 45 minutes of decent stuff, and after that, it's garbage. So that kind of sent me. I didn't know what to do, and I guess you could say I just ventured out into the wilderness in the middle of a snowstorm without much expectations of ever returning, and had another experience, another experience that was something bigger than me, kind of picked me up and just gave me enough encouragement to come out of the wilderness and come back into society. And I took about 6 months off from I said I couldn't even look at a movie poster. I didn't watch any movies. I didn't do anything with my movies or business or anything. And then slowly started to kind of bring back in. And that's why you see parties started to submit to festivals in 22 and 23, because I was coming back, and I thought it was going to be done forever. I thought I was going to walk away forever, because I started doing music.
And it was post complete, or you would actually walked away?
It was. Yeah, I mean,
it was pretty much done.
Yeah, pretty much done. Yeah, Kevin was still, whatever, always, because he did all the sound design, editing, and everything. So there was always things that he would work on. But yeah, it was essentially done, and
so it needed you to pick it up and carry it over the finish
nobody
line?
else was going to do. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's like I paid for it, and and it's my idea and everything, whatever. So everybody kind of like looked at it and knew it was my movie. So I basically just slowly kind of came back into the industry, and now have hit a stride again of I have a really great pace, and I believe I think next year is going to be a really great year for us, myself and my team and everything like that. We shot another movie earlier this year that's Say Something. We actually shot that in my hometown in Everett, and so captured the town and showcased the kind of spirit of it and what have you. So that was cool to come back to, and it's all in black and white, so it's very, it was good. And my first time with a feature film directing, so I was like, nobody else, because I'm as a producer, when I hired
you
the
directed
director,
yourself.
Yeah, when I hire a director, I have a hard and fast rule of like, it is their film, man, and even if I disagree hard with something, I'll push or I'll present, but like ultimately, it's their call. I'll leave the final cut, final decision to them and stuff. So I was happy this time, like, it's all me, baby. It's all me. Let me quarterback this thing, and I think we did it successfully. I'm very happy with it. Yeah.
And you started that after basically getting, or no, it was in conjunction with the party still being in
Party
process.
still was not in,
Yeah.
still did not have distribution. We didn't secure distribution until this summer, until after we had already shot it. Yeah. I mean, it had been so long, I kind of just like walked away. You know what I mean? I was like, well.
Right. Oh, so you're working on Say Something, and then you get news that like there was
After we filmed it.
activity with the party?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, it's finally coming out now, and I'm excited to see what it does.
I was gonna say, like, that was that kind of surreal that here you are, you're focused on something completely new, and even more yours, right, as director, and then oh man, that film that I did before the Wilderness, like I got to give it some of my attention again.
Well, yeah, I always assumed it would be, and I had already signed a Japanese distribution deal, and so it had already come out in Japan, and so I was seeing that, and it's like it wasn't great, you know what I mean? It's not anything, but I was like, well, that's cool, and I was like, it'll come, you know what I mean? But I definitely had moved on from it emotionally, you know, everything, and. But yeah, there was some like, okay, now we got to go back. We got to let's tweak the poster and get this right, you know, and you know, there's all the deliverables for different things, and you know, so dealing with that kind of stuff. But it's cool. It's like I said, I have my own opinions about the movie, you know, and if I
including being proud of it.
Yeah. It's a cool story, but I'm very curious to see people's reaction, because it's screened in a lot of different festivals, and I went to most of those screenings, and there was twice I see people that like, I don't know, they were just there for the festival, you know, and they're like crying at certain parts, and I was like, well, we did something right, you know what I mean? We're hitting something, and it's a theater, so you never know how something can hit or connect, or you know what I mean, might get a little sauce to it and people just start eating it up. Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, that's something I truly enjoy, is when I as a festival runner, when I look at what different jurors think of the same film, and like there's a freaking movie in our December festival that like is getting 10s from some people and 1s from some people.
Well, it's got to be great,
right?
Then.
That's
you know
great.
I mean? Yeah,
that's great.
If you're when evidence is a 5 if you look at IMDb, but it's completely divided. But I always think that if a movie's rated like 1 or 2, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, there's got to be something to it. You know what I mean? People don't just like they obviously are missing something or something like that. You know. So that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd rather create debate than just be boring.
Than just be forgotten.
Be like, it was all right.
Yeah.
No one loves it, no one hates it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not art.
No, yeah. So so I'm excited to see what happens from it. Yeah.
And Say Something is it
Say
out
Something
of post?
is completely done. Sound's done, mixed. I've submitted to. I'm submitting to festivals now, maybe about a dozen by the end of the year. I'm swinging for the fences, you know what I mean? So going with all the big dogs and spending all the money for it.
That's true, we'll but I'm very, obviously I live in a little bubble and I'm unaware. And then every once in a while someone will send me a link or something. They're like, should I submit to this festival? And I'll look and I'll be like, wow, those festivals charge a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the big ones now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really asking for.
Film Freeway has an option to like do a subscription, like you pay like $15 a month, and then you get a discount on every
the gold
film.
Thing.
Yeah. And I did it, and I saved my money on the first submission. I was like, well, this is definitely worth it because I just saved my money right there. So that's helped a little bit. But I mean, I think I think Say Something. I believe in it to that level. You know, I think it can hang in that. I think we crushed it.
Excellent.
So,
and it totally makes sense to swing for the fences and go for all the festivals that there's festivals that people who know nothing about film festivals have heard of.
Yeah.
And it totally makes sense to submit to those first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
'Cause
And Party is not of that tier. You know what I mean? So that would have been a waste, in my opinion. Say Something, I think, has a real chance. I mean, the quality of it is there, even though it was completely micro budget and a skeleton of a skeleton crew. I think we crushed the script and the structure and.
But like in the years since Evidence, I mean, you've watched just how much production has changed and what you can do now with a micro budget.
Yeah, well, you just need the you know what I mean, camera, and then and Lyndon, who was our DP, and was actually, he's in the Party. He plays Josh, the character Josh. But yeah, just the lights, you know, we're just clip them up, hang them up here, you know what I mean? Just these little boom, 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 and we were able to move real fast, and we had the location. You know, we kept the location. It was 2 locations basically, and I think that's the most important thing when you're doing independent films is like, what do you have, you know, at your disposal that gives production value? Now let's get the index cards and structure the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You get an idea of what box you can,
right.
How big your sandbox
is,
and then you're like, okay, let's build the best sandcastle possible inside this sandbox.
Yeah.
Because
using all the same tools that the big kids use in their sandboxes and with their sandcastle. I'm not doing anything different. Matter of fact, I'm doing what they do better, in my opinion, in terms of like focusing on the story and everything. You know, this is like how they used to do it like 80 years ago when they were making movies. That mentality has just been lost, you know.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I know people say it a lot, but it really is you can tell the difference between, I'm trying to get to the whole, once a filmmaker doesn't have those kind of limits, their work suffers. Like I always feel like the earlier work by some really creative people is just brilliant.
Yeah.
And then they get a bigger budget and it's good. And then a bigger budget. And all of a sudden, like the heart is gone.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to sit and go, how the fuck can we pull this off? And then come up with something really creative and original to pull off the idea to tell the story. Instead of being like, oh, well, you know, we'll spend a couple more million on CGI.
Right, yeah. So
then you're sitting in the theater going, why am I looking at this?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing compelling.
Yeah.
I think artists working with limits, you know.
So I hope to like I want to make $10 million movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and I believe that's where my trajectory is heading. I hope I am able to maintain the same type of attitude and work ethic and everything with the stories, even, you know, when you're bringing more hands on deck. I think so. You know, I don't just have the people that are around me aren't just you know, they're very special, unique individuals, each one of them, and I think the mixture of all of our energies kind of combining together is a pretty strong force, you know. Well, that's why I said I'm really looking forward to see where we're at next year, at the end of next year. We're already on pace. We're going to shoot another movie. Our goal has been, we're just going to start churning out a movie a year, and until you know something's going to hit fire, or we're going to have so many that it'll, you know, we can then, you know, propel ourselves to the next tier of films we want to do. But we're shooting one in May. That's one location, 2 actors, all told in real time. It's kind of more of a experimental, but I'm excited about it because it's something different and unique, and I got the same crew of people. It's just going to be us, and we're all there. It's going to be a really cool experience.
Right, like when a crew, once you have that crew of people who work well together, it's like a band, right? Like,
yeah.
Like the sum of the parts are greater than form a whole. I said it wrong, right? They're greater than the sum of their parts.
Yeah. It's true. So, they're incredible individuals. So, our pacing is looking good.
And did we want to talk about what it's like to get a movie out there to the people?
Sure. Yeah, I love it. I haven't had it done in over a decade, but so that's the thing I think I'm most excited about is that people just like start like you just start to get noticed more, or what I mean, in terms of like people reach out to you more, or because you never know how the thread is gonna weave itself to somebody seeing your movie. But when it's out there now, and it's what I mean, can be seen by anyone. And again, I experienced it before with evidence, and so I know what happens. I'm like, okay, so I'm looking forward to that because I'm hoping that's going to help propel me again to the next tier, the next phase, that we have planned and stuff.
With the pace you're going, it's very cool, and you are in a great position because however the party does, I mean, you can just say there's another one coming and another one coming.
Exactly. It's like
and they can build on each other, and the number of people you meet will build, and the number of hopefully, people start following the work and paying attention to it.
Well, and a lot of if you're at an event, right, and you're a producer, let's say, and you're trying to get to that next level or get a movie, anything, whatever, and you meet somebody and you think, oh, this person's got the right connections, I want to get in with them. They'll say, what have you done? And you tell them. Their next follow-up question will be, where can I see it? Right. So it doesn't matter if you've produced 5 films. If they aren't out, that person or that imaginary person doesn't. It's not real to them. You know what I mean? But when you say, "Oh, I've produced this movie, you can watch it here, and this movie you can watch it here." Even better yet, if you have like numbers for for how it's done or whatever, then they're. Oh well, which is the sinister part about the industry, but that is how it works.
I mean, that
you
part,
do have
that
to climb
part makes
up the
sense,
snake,
right? Yeah,
to get the apple at the top.
You do, but I mean, in that case, I can't even criticize that, right? Because I see 1,500 indie films a year, and
how many of those get?
Many, and we show, the 60, 70 best in each festival, but I'm well aware how hard it is for people to get their work to audiences. And the whole system is, I mean, we don't have to do a state of the industry, but the distribution has just gotten fucked.
Yeah.
And there's no art house cinema anymore, and Netflix went from 0 to 60 on indies. Used to be able to sit down and watch Netflix and it was just one indie film after another you hadn't heard of that was good.
Yeah.
And now they don't even touch indies.
Yeah, it's
unless it's about a serial killer.
No, I agree with you. And again, for like a couple years, I was kind of out of the, I mean, I got rid of every subscription. I wasn't doing anything. But again, I'm back to watching at least one movie a day. It's always, most of the time, it's something I've seen before because I'm scrolling. Because it's just, I feel like all the each one of the channels, I'll call them, are all bleeding across each other. You're all kind of showing the same stuff. And I'm almost like, I feel like there's like a whole other existence of films that like maybe I grew up with that, are like missing that I wouldn't even recognize if I saw the film and be like, oh my God, I forgot that film even existed, but it's something I'd seen a dozen times before. It's the colors are bleeding into each other for sure.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah. I don't, I don't know, whatever happens with that, the big, subscriber studio thing, is not my concern because ultimately the goal, the plan, if I had the resources, I would just directly release them myself. I would not go through a distributor or sales rep or anything like that. I would just, that is the answer to me. I just don't have the infrastructure to do that.
Right, like
yet.
even at the theatrical level.
Yes.
Like just
yes.
4 wallet.
Yeah. Like,
I gotta admit,
I would go by a theater and I would play only my movies, and they would be available 24/7 for you to go watch at any point in time. And then I would license, get all my other friends, you know what I mean? And I would just pack that theater.
I
and
always
then
wondered why some person of wealth didn't just, all you got to do is buy a theater in the 10 to 20 biggest cities in North America, and then you can have a continent-wide release in the 20 biggest cities, which probably covers like 1/5 of the population, if not more. Yeah. And then you can like advertise it, and I know for a fact that people will watch indie films if they get access to them.
Yeah, So that's like I said, wave magic wand. That's if things keep building and keep going the way I want them to go, that's where I'm headed. Or like a traveling drive-through. You know what I mean? Like a just what there's a lot of grand ideas I have, but so I'm almost not concerned because again I don't think I think like in terms of competition, it's like I think I can destroy the studios. You know what I mean? I don't think they're competing at any real level. It's just they just got bigger toys and things like that. So hopefully we get there.
Yeah. Well, and you're proving it by making close to a film a year.
We're on pace.
Yeah.
This will be year 2 of doing that, and then I already have I have scripts in development. I'm developing with other people. They're right, and then personally, my, own stuff. So, I got half a dozen right now that are within the same budgetary range that are developing, that are brewing, that I'm kind of okay after this one. How can we, because we're just self-funding these things and utilizing people who already have the gear and they're, putting their name on it for ours, so they're not charging us a gear daily rental fee or anything like that, and then edit it at home. And the sound is the one thing where you can't really skimp on. It's extremely important. I actually just going through the process again with a dear friend of mine who has been doing it for 35 years and helped me out on evidence as well, saying that I actually would put audio as if you're looking at like a percentage, it would be above 50% more input. It's more important than the visuals, I think. I think the audio is more important than the visuals. Maybe like 60-40, it's close. It's not like a thing, but because that it's you know what I mean, the way it hits the sense with the visuals happening at the time with the cue, but people also can hear if a film's bad before they can see a film's bad. You know what I mean?
Also, I will probably get a lot of my cinematographer friends might hate me for saying this, but I'm not sure I agree about the percentages, but I definitely agree that it's a lot easier to get the picture right than the sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like most films do not fuck up the picture.
Right.
But on-set sound is just harder to get right and harder to fix.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, I think the public audience has an ear for, you know what I mean, where like they can just hear, like the movie just, it doesn't sound like a movie like I'm used to hearing, you know what I mean, like in terms of levels or background noise or things like that, and I mean these people are like masters at like dialogue editing and stuff, you know what I mean, like what they do is is incredible, not that what DPs do isn't incredible as well. I guess personally,
they have to capture the light, blah blah blah, and make it But the amazing thing about sound is, if you shoot someone walking across a room in tap shoes, what you record there sounds like shit, and you actually, if you have a perfect recording of that, it doesn't work on screen. You actually have to do the Foley.
Yeah.
Or
you have to do
seem right.
You have to do something to it.
Yeah. The reality doesn't work for sound.
Yeah. And the picture, you have the colorist that comes. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
true.
somebody's got to
That's
color it. If they don't, it doesn't look, thing. So, yeah. But
and it's what people snooze
the sound
on.
The sound in for the way I structure these films and the way I budget them out, the sound is like, 50% of the budget usually. Around there. Production wise, I'm able to keep it pretty slow, and I shoot fast, so I don't have that many days of production. But it's worth it, So you should invest in your sound design. Is my ending.
That is
part on that.
That is really smart advice. And I mean, it's funny because decades ago, I remember people would raise the money for the production and say, they actually thought that like their rough cut would be so good, someone else would pay for the post.
Yeah.
And it's like, what you're saying is absolutely true. Like you have to, honestly, you really have to budget all the way. You have to budget for sound, budget for everything post, and budget for your festival run, and budget for your marketing too. Because the other dirty secret is even when a company is distributing a film, especially indies, they still just look at the filmmaker and go, "Well, you market it,"
I have no idea what our distributor
You get zero help from them. They expect you to do all the legwork.
Yeah. I mean, I got a breakdown of like, here's all the things, whatever from them or whatever that our distributor's going to do in terms of marketing. I think most people don't know how to market on the internet. And B, I don't think there's any marketing that is done. It's probably pretty cut and paste, generic of like, we put the poster on this site, or we run ads on, AdSense, whatever, and little margins. And so that is one thing that the party has. It's like, in terms of the marketing aspect. And this was from, purposefully or intentful of me. I was recording the whole time behind this. We had a behind the scenes photographer and videographer, and then I was just filming on my camera, and I was posting them to TikTok and YouTube, just little shorts. You know what I mean? And some of them like completely blew up, but they're like these unmeasurable marketing things. So now when the film finally comes out, there might have been a kid 5 years ago that saw this viral video on TikTok. And then they see an advertisement for the movie or whatever it is, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, you don't think that kid's going to click immediately to run around?" Of course, So that's been my marketing strategy this whole time with Party. Is I'm just going to try to throw out as many things about it on the internet as I can, kind of shotgun spread style, and hope that when it finally does come out, people respond.
Well, that's smart, and there's no reason not to, and it's really what you can do,
Yeah.
It's how an independent creator can connect with a community, because that's really what you need, right? Because as soon as you got your community, you think about the people that were fans, like the handful of indie filmmakers who were fans of, or I'm blanking on all the names now, but you know what I mean? Like the Florida Project dude.
Yeah.
Now there's people who just go see anything he'll make.
Oh, for me, yeah, absolutely.
Then,
it's like, I don't even have to hear.
I know he just got nominated for an Oscar, but he just won the Oscar. Fuck.
Yeah. Which I didn't even. Yeah, I don't watch the Oscars.
I haven't seen it yet because I don't have time to.
Yeah, I don't watch the Oscars. But I didn't even know he had made his most recent film, and somebody in a passing conversation was like, "Oh yeah, Sean Baker's new film." I was like, "Huh?" I don't need to read a cover. I don't need to see anything about it. He made a movie. I'm going to go see it because I know the quality's going to be there. Similar thing, which is, I don't know when you want to get into the 4 questions, but one of the films on my 4 questions.
I failed you because the 4 questions we'll stop recording, and then it's its own episode.
Okay, great. Well, if you listen to the 4 questions episode that we do, one of the films in there is the filmmaker is I hear the name and I'm watching it, I think they're brilliant and so yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, and of course you're that way because filmmakers, there's always that transition when you're growing up where like you watch movies because of the lead performers. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm gonna go see a movie with that person in it.
Yeah.
And then somewhere, I don't know. For me, I think it was around high school maybe that you start realizing, no, I got to follow the directors.
Yeah.
You want to watch everything this director makes because the actor could be in something really shitty next.
Yeah.
They're not in control of what they're doing. The directors are the storytellers. I'm going to watch everything by that person.
When I was in film school, early 20s, and I was in Seattle, and my first film I did right out of there. It's unrelleased, but I had a French director because I was going to school with him, and he knew way more about cinema than I. I really got a great education from him, and yeah, so and it would be like I remember. Okay, the Thing, of course, yeah, I love The Thing. Oh, did you know that John Carpenter's made like 17 other movies? And I just started going through and just and like every John Carpenter movie, I would just go and seek and watch and just blown away, you know what I mean? But that was one of the first that I, where you hear the name and it's
I've been talking John Carpenter with people lately, which is, I don't understand how, I always joke that like we live in this, whoever wrote the simulation we're in was lazy because like another person brings up John Carpenter, mm-hmm. like, oh, I got so hooked on John Carpenter in high school. Like as soon as, I think it was like, and then They Live came out when I was in college.
Yeah.
And I was like, but everything he did and, very different genres, but it was always something better about it.
Yeah. Well, and the inspiration for me was
right?
I was always like, oh man, he did this for like $5 million when the average movie at that time was like 20 or 30 million, you know what I mean? In the same genre, action movies or horror, whatever. And just and then of course, listen to a lot of commentary and there's some really cool filmmaking, indie, like real, genuine, like in guerrilla filmmaking, like tricks and stuff that I love. I love that aspect. I love being a guerrilla filmmaker. I love getting away with stuff for free. I love stealing shots. I love being completely, how are we gonna get this shot? Maybe come up with an elaborate movement, a camera movement, or something like that. I really enjoy that aspect.
Oh, excellent. All right, well, maybe I'll wrap us up so we can get to those four questions because it sounds like you're kind of eager to talk about it.
I have them written down. I got my answers ready.
Ryan's got his list.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll thank you, Ryan, for being here.
Thank you for having me on.
And we'll make when you have the links and everything, we'll make sure in the show notes of this we'll link to your YouTube and I imagine there will be like a page that'll take people to all the places where they can do that VOD rental of the party.
Yeah. I'll have it set
we'll put
up
the
somewhere.
links in there.
Cool.
I always enjoy being a real podcaster who says, check the show notes for clickable links, but we'll do it. We'll do it.
Cool.
That's what. If someone can listen to this and not want to see the party, then I'll come to the Sherman Film Festival.
Well, maybe they saw evidence.
I'm going to slap them.
And they're like, it's yeah. I don't know.
Should we link to? We can link to evidence too.
No. That's old.
It's all in your past.
Yeah, it's in the past. But yeah. So
it's about
I appreciate
future.
it, man.
Excellent. All right. Well, I already thanked Ryan, so now I'm going to thank all of you listeners. If you're still listening to my voice, if you didn't already just hit stop because I thanked Ryan for being here, thank you for listening. If you want to learn more about this podcast, go to discoverindiefilm.com. On social media, it's always at DIFwins. And like, subscribe, do shit like that. Be kind to people. top secret here, and that's not a secret at all. When you are kind to other people, it actually helps you more than them. So you should be a selfish motherfucker and be kind to everyone you meet. Just my tip as an old person.
I concur.
Who's trying to, right? It really is. And by the way, that's my big joke with staffers. It's like when someone writes a really angry email to the festival for something, I come back so kind. I'm like,
course.
I'm going to be so nice to you.
Yeah.
And I get to walk away from it going, I feel good. So anyway, be kind to everyone. All right. So that's discoverindiefilm.com for the podcast. If you go to discoverindiefilm.org, that is a nonprofit that runs 2 film festivals in the Los Angeles area. Film Invasion Los Angeles, that's every June, and Sherman Oaks Film Festival, that's every December. They both happen to be in we've mentioned Film Freeway a few times, I think. They're in film, because Film Freeway kind of has a monopoly on film festival submissions.
Yeah, except for like some of the, like Berlin and Cannes, you got to go to their website.
You got to go direct, yeah. It's funny. Other ones try to pop up, but it's honestly, look, they're the main game in town, and both of those film festivals I just named are in the top 100 best reviewed list out of 14,000 in the world. So,
congrats!
I have to mention it because I'm proud.
Yeah.
And from discoverindiefilm.org, you can link to either the websites for Sherman Oaks Film Festival or Film Invasion LA. So I don't have to rattle off those websites and social media. And the last thing to mention is I sometimes call Sherman Oaks and Film Invasion LA sister festivals. Next year, a few weeks after the party releases, January 16th and 17th, Film Invasion Lima is happening down in Peru.
Whoa.
Groovy, huh?
Very groovy. Nice.
It's very, well, if you're a loyal listener, and I know there aren't many, but if you're a loyal listener, you've already heard this, but I'll tell Ryan while we're recording that, yeah, it's actually an alumni. We a filmmaking couple based in Lima have been in Sherman Oaks Film Festival twice.
It, huh?
Well, it's funny. The idea was to have Film Invasion in other cities.
Nice.
And Oakland almost happened. Vancouver almost happened. London almost happened. But every time it's somebody who's interested and they want me to do all the work. And I'm like, no. But I will give you all the support you need and for you to be the festival runner. And so it falls through.
Yeah.
And we're at a closing night party of Sherman Oaks Film Festival. And this very cool filmmaker, Chevy Douglas. Hey, Chevy. I don't think you have time to listen to this because you're running Film Invasion Lima now. But he said to me, Jeff, I love this community of indie filmmakers hanging out and getting to know each other. I wish I had this down in Lima. And I'm like, well, I've known you a couple years now. You've been at our festival twice. If you want to be a festival runner down in Lima, we could hold Film Invasion Lima, and then you could start a community of indie filmmakers down there. And this man came through.
Yeah, that's great.
And so, and I'm
good
really
quality when people say, and they tell you something that they're going to do something. They actually.
I guess
follow
we're
through
both
with
aware
it.
of how many people.
I don't understand why you would not do something. I follow through with everything. But,
right? Like, why bother? Like, why say?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the story behind Lima.
Love it.
All right. Thank you, Ryan, one more time.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. And as Ryan said, the podcast after this one will be Ryan answering what I call the Discovery Indie Film 4 questions, which means some favorites, underrated, overrated, and lesser known. So listen to that one because you'll get some good movie recommendations. All right. Goodbye, everybody.